It's time to get real this Christmas and enjoy the things that matter. I'm Michaela Clark of declutteringU.com and I'm here to help you simplify your Christmas. Every episode, I'll be here to give you one quick, easy Christmas hack designed to help you simplify your holiday season and find the fun again. Let's go. Welcome hackers to another episode, and today we're talking about travelling during the silly season. Now, I'm usually one to avoid it at all costs because I just think it's going to be a nightmare. But our guest today, Amanda Kendle from the Thoughtful Travel Podcast, has some great tips about travelling this time of year and how you can actually do it on the cheap and how to make the most of Christmas in other areas. So this should inspire you to start booking some travel online and perhaps getting away from the family. That will certainly make it a more simplified Christmas, wouldn't it? Enjoy the episode. Okay, Amanda, so I'd love to know, what is your favourite Christmas dish?
Well, I have to say we don't have a particularly traditional Christmas lunch when we sit down to eat. And for many, many years, my mum has had this tradition of asking each of the people who's coming to her lunch what one dish they would really like to have. And that's what she'll create. Or she might outsource it sometimes too. But my favourite one is so weird, and it's to actually have like curried eggs, like when you cut the egg in half and really creamy, slightly sweetened with honey curried eggs. And it's a weird thing, but that's the only time of the year I have it. I'll have it at Christmas.
Oh, wow.
My sister always went for watermelon, very simple too. And my mum's best friend who would always come along, she makes these amazing little veggie tarts. And that was always the thing she would bring, which we loved. So we'd have this really weird array of food. Oh, my mum would always pick prawns, just simple prawns.
Yeah.
And it's just always, it still is. It is always the most delicious combination of stuff. Not something that kind of looks good on a table, and it's probably not culturally or traditionally correct, but we love it.
Well, you know what? My mother spends hours making this glazed fruit dish, which is she goes and handpicks all these cherries and fruits, and she makes this amazing basket, and she covers it in egg yolk and sugar.
Oh, my gosh.
And so it's this beautiful centre table piece. It takes it hours to make, but no one eats it. Because A, it looks too good, and it's like, and no one wants to touch it, and so it always gets chucked out every Christmas. We go, don't worry about doing it. She's like, no, but I've got to do it because that's what goes in the middle of the table.
What a shame.
Yeah.
Nothing gets chucked out from our Christmas lunch. If we're lucky, we get leftovers for the next day, but often it all disappears.
Well, there's nothing like Boxing Day leftovers, is there?
Yum.
So you're the travel expert, if you like, and I know like Christmas is such a busy time of year, especially if we're travelling. I mean, most people have time off and they want to go away. I actually always avoid travelling at Christmas. I just think I can't deal with it. So I'm thinking, what can be some tips you can help us to, handle the chaos that is Christmas travel?
Yes, well, I love to get away to have a break from Christmas in a sense. So, I mean, I love to travel anyway, but it's a good time of year to get away and do something a bit different. So I guess my biggest tip is to go somewhere for a longer time. Just go to one place and stay there for a longer time. That's always much easier in so many respects. So just slowing down that travel and not going somewhere and racing around to 10 different countries in Europe in 2 weeks or something horrifying like that.
And it's one of those situations where you do that, and then you need a holiday from the holiday, and it's like,
exactly.
Why do we do this?
And kind of doing that kind of trip, you can often feel like you've just recreated what you've already seen on TV, but it's not. It's not so special. So I love to stay somewhere for in one place for a longer time, for a couple of weeks, or even a month if you can spare it, and preferably like not in a hotel, but rent an Airbnb house or an apartment or something, so you can sort of live in a local neighbourhood, hopefully even meet some people and just kind of experience how the local neighbourhood and wherever you've decided to visit celebrates their Christmas.
Oh, that's such a great idea. I love that about, looking at actually getting with the locals and learning how they celebrate Christmas, not necessarily, what the big hotels want to put on as their Christmas function or anything like that. So I love that. And I reckon that would be a real cultural surprise, well, especially if you're in my street, but where I live. But I think that would be such a great experience.
Yeah, definitely. And because in my limited experience of hotels at Christmas time, you could be in anywhere in the world and it's all kind of the same and you can't even really remember what country you're in because they all have this kind of standard Christmas approach and it's not really my thing.
Yeah, no, not mine either. Awesome. What else could we try?
Well, something I've done a few Christmases, which I really like, is to actually kind of escape Christmas. I mean, I actually quite love the idea of Christmas, and especially with a son, I love to celebrate it. But the other side of it is going somewhere where they don't actually celebrate Christmas, so you can escape a lot of that hype, and especially a lot of the commercial hype and stuff. So, as a couple of examples, I had a couple of Christmases in Japan, and that was just kind of the perfect combination because they know about Christmas and they like to decorate and to have fun. So there'll be Christmas decorations around, but otherwise Christmas Day is just a normal day. And so a lot of that hype is missing. And I remember once I spent Christmas Day actually working. I was teaching in Japan. And I went home in the evening and thought we need a Christmas treat. And so we ordered pizza, which is really expensive to do in Japan, and successfully ordered the pizza in Japanese. And then the delivery guy turned up and he had a nice little Santa hat on. And I thought, oh, it's Christmassy after all. This is perfect. This is all I need for Christmas.
Oh, that's great. And look, what a fond memory it's created for you, which is really what Christmas is all about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I know one of the best Christmases I have was actually just camping on a beach, and we just, dug a hole and did like a roast with some hot coals over it, and it was just delicious, and just sat on the beach and camped in the middle of nowhere. You couldn't access it by cars. It was only by boat, and it was just amazing. It was so peaceful and lovely. Yeah.
And I love the way that differentiates your Christmases, because otherwise if you kind of do the same thing, you go to the family, you have lunch, blah, 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 they all kind of meld into one and you can't really think back to remember what was different about that Christmas. But if you go somewhere different, then you can, right, in 2013, this is what our Christmas was and I loved it.
Yeah. Now, Christmas can be a really expensive time to travel. Do you have any tips around trying to lower the cost this time of year?
Yes, so you're right. Obviously, everyone's on holidays, and so a lot of people do want to travel, or they're going home for Christmas and traveling. So it can be expensive. So that's a bit of a problem sometimes. The one way I've done it in the past is actually just to leave really early. So if you leave in early December, then that can keep the prices down, especially for flights. But the other trick is sometimes, if you're happy to do it, is to travel on Christmas Day itself. So if you look around, you can often get fares either like leaving or arriving home on Christmas Day, because nobody really wants to travel on Christmas Day. But if you can get over that problem, which I certainly can, to save a few $100s or more, then traveling on Christmas Day can be a good tip. Plus, like airlines or whatever, they're really friendly to you when you're traveling on Christmas, and I think you get excellent service.
And the other thing is, like, you can delay the trip, then you don't have to buy the presents before Christmas. You can go to the Boxing Day sales, save money, and then do Christmas that way.
That is genius. I never even thought of that. That's fabulous.
So use the whole, it's a bit expensive to fly other times. I'll just fly Christmas Day, go to the Boxing Day sales before your Christmas function and see your family afterwards.
Yeah, and you have saved so much. The savings have probably paid for half your holiday.
Or another holiday. Which I like to think.
Actually, even better. I should be thinking of that. Definitely.
Well, thank you so much for those tips. I definitely want to go away this Christmas now, but I don't think that all the people coming to my house are going to be overly excited about that, because I've already booked them all in, even though I'm thinking that they can all bring a dish this year. But you've definitely inspired me to want to travel, so thank you so much for those trips. And are you going away this Christmas at all?
Well, actually not this Christmas. I'm staying home, but having talked about it with you now, I am seriously tempted to go online and start looking up fares.
Just go see how cheap those Christmas Day fares are.
Yeah. I'm very, very tempted.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks so much, Michaela.
It's time to embrace a perfectly imperfect Christmas. Head over to declutteryou.com/Christmas hacks to grab a free copy of the Hack the Holidays Handbook to help you get organised, simplify, and actually enjoy your Christmas this year.